Okay, hi everybody. This is Tracy Reed with Cal State S4. I'm going to be running through how you create test accounts, additional test accounts in your version of Cal State S4. By default, we do have a test account, a test student account, a test faculty account, a test course, and a test term in your instance of Cal State S4. But this will be, I'm going to go through how you would create additional test accounts if you want them. So I am on the home page of Hetch Hetchy as a staff person. Probably the most important piece to this is that if you're creating test accounts, you need to use a URL, a web email or a web address that is not available anywhere except for in the documentation and on this video. You will use the following web address to create your additional test users, and that will be available in the documentation. When you add this specific web address, you will see that you have the ability to add a new user, and this is where you can create a test account. So, for example, you need to have a unique username, test account. You also need to have a unique email. Now this can be a fake email address or it can be a real email address of a test email that you use. It cannot be your campus email because that email already exists in the system with your own personal program staff account. So what I have done is created a test Gmail account and I use that. And a handy tool that you can actually use with Gmail accounts is you can add a number like +12 onto the end of whatever your account name is, and that will actually go to the same address. So it allows it to be a unique one that you can use multiple times just by adding plus whatever number you haven't used before. You want to add the name of the test account, Testerson. You do not need to add a program unless the user is supposed to be affiliated with the program. If you are enrolling the user as a student in a course, then you definitely don't need to add the user program because the course has a program and they'll be established that way with their program. This is going to be a test student, so I've added test student, and then you do not need to add anything here. You do not need to change these. You simply create the user. Now, once you have created the user, you'll see a note that says that a notification email was sent to the email that you provided. If that is fake, then you will need to go back into the user account and add a password through the system. If it is a real account that you have access to, then you can simply go to that account and you can see that the email was sent, establishing the account, and then you can go through the steps to establish the password here. Otherwise, if it was not a real account, then instead what you're going to do is go to the user tab and you will see your new account likely listed as the very first one on the list. You will edit that account and you will add whatever password you would like there and confirm that password and then save that test account again. Now you have a test account with the username test account, an email address, and a password set up. However, just because you have this account, this doesn't mean that the student, if it's a student test account, they're not enrolled in a particular course. So you also need to make sure that this account gets enrolled in a course so that they can go through the sign-up process or you can demonstrate that. By doing that, you go to the Courses tab. And by default, you will have a test term in your test area unless that's been changed on your campus by another user for some reason. But you can always create a new test course by going to Create New Course, and you can add the information and create a course. Once the course is created, or you can create or you can edit an existing test course, you'll want to make sure to add the new student test user to this area down here that says Students. In this case, if we're creating an entirely new course, we'll say test 100. You'll want to select an appropriate term. You want to select the appropriate program. Those are all the things you have to have. And now you want to add that test student to the student list. So test student, you'll start to write the username of the student As you do so, you'll actually see a list come up of um, of accounts that have this name in them. You want to, what's it called? Oh, it's test account. You'll want to start typing that in, test account, and then see this come up in your option list and click on it. And then you'll see a number that shows up. You have to have that parenthetic number. Once that's established and you hit save, and then you'll see that now you have your test course and you have Testerson in your test course, and you can now log out of your staff email and log in with your test account and go through the process as your test account that you've created. That's kind of a first pass. If hopefully that makes sense. I will also be sharing documentation for how to create test accounts and go in more detail over also test faculty accounts and give you some helpful tips. Okay, thanks. Bye.